Hello and welcome everybody. This is Botany and Board. I am Bailey, and today I'm going to dive into a little bit of statistics on our top 30 board games of all time as of 2022. So first off, if you have not watched those videos, please go do so. My lovely husband Wyatt spent lots of time editing them, so please go watch them. That will make him happy and me as well. They're also a good time. I think we had a lot of fun. So there's some very humorous moments in there, especially in the top. Well, there's enough in all of them. Go watch them all. It's no excuse. Watch them all. Anyway, so today I'm going to dive into some stats. So this is my home office. Welcome. This is where I am more hours than I'd like to be. But what do you do? What do you do? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. It's interesting that it's showing me what I'm seeing. Like, I understand. Okay, making me a little bit bigger. Okay, there we are. All right, so again, please go watch the videos first and then come back. So after you've done so, welcome back. Here's the stats. Let's go through them. So to start, I did a few different things. So first, I just kind of took, here is our database of games that we ranked. So I ended up only ranking, so I have like 180 some. I need to look on Board Game Geek to give you the exact number, but I exported my collection into PubMeeple, and then I ended up ranking 130, and Wyatt ended up ranking 66 of them. So we went through it on a few of them that we just knew they weren't going to be very high up. We just exited out of them to kind of make the selection a little bit less. And then also some of them, like for instance, if I had like Pandemic and Pandemic Legacy, I only left one of them on the list to rank. That way I wasn't just clogging up the list with too many of like the same game necessarily. So with that, here, let's get into some stats. So here's all of our games. So first, this has my ranking of all of my games, which you guys already know because you've watched the video, I'm sure. So Wyatt's ranking of his games. And then, so average ranking. So now this is, we'll show you kind of like with his and with mine, where we kind of meet out as what we would have made our combined top 10, I suppose. So Five Tribes Catan makes total sense. No surprises there. It was, my number one, Wyatt's number two, 3 and 1. Final Girl. So this one I did, even though Wyatt didn't rank it, I went ahead and let the formula keep it. Also, if anyone ever wants any Excel videos, I love Excel, so let me know, and I can have that as like a side botany board and random accounting know-how in Excel. Anyways, so on our average, Sorcerer City, so love this game, clearly it was my number 4. So this one also would rank on average number 11, and this one goes on sale on Amazon a lot, so just keep your eye out for Black Friday. You can probably find it for a really good price. And it plays into a lot of people as well. And you can play solo, so it is very good buy. Okay, so Splendor, no surprise there. Jules Star Pavilion, Jaipur, Viticulture, It's a Wonderful World, Patchwork. That again was just me that rated that one. Alhambra, Wonderland's War, Pandemic, Quacks, Lords of Waterdeep, Chronicles of Crime. So those all make, so I would say this is what Wyatt and I think you should go buy. If you're like us and you have similar-ish game taste to us, these are combined maybe the top, how many did I get? 16? There's the top 16 that you can get. So there's a little ranking analysis. So next up, group this so I make it easier on your eyes. This is what I do also. Accountant tip. So if you're used to working with people who don't look at data all the time and get kind of overwhelmed if you see a lot of data, I always just insert a blank row and then group stuff. That way everybody can just look at what I want you to look at right now. And that way they're not just what are you making me look at? So anyways, counting, job, whatever you want to call that. Job tips and tricks. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. All right, so the next thing I did was, I think I actually wanted, oh yes, I kind of messed it up when I ungroup those. 1 second. Okay, so the next thing I did was crossovers. So we ended up having 11 crossovers. So, and again, they're up here in our highest ranked games, which makes sense because if we both put them on, then the average would be higher. So here are those 11 games that appeared on both of our top 30s. I was actually very surprised. I was a little bit worried at first that with him only doing 66 and me at 130, I was worried that like our lists were going to be almost identical. So I'm glad that only a third were crossovers. That's good. Not that, I guess not that it matters. I guess it's good in a way that we like as a group, as a whole, agree that these 11 games are amazing. We will play them all the time. Okay, so those are our crossovers. Next up, so our points. So this is how we did the points. So I went through and I pulled in, oops. So I went through it and did my rank on what I thought Wyatt would be, and then the variance between what Wyatt actually ranked it and what my guess was. And then I just returned absolute values because it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. Also, if you want to know how to return absolute values, it's ABS. Okay, so if you want to look at my formulas up in the top, there's your accounting and Excel know-how for the day. Okay, so I went through and then did a variance analysis. So I did that for myself and then also for Wyatt. And then we combined, this is what I landed on. I actually didn't even run it by with Wyatt, but this is what I did. So I decided that, hey, if the variance is 0, like you got it in the correct position, correct game, correct position, 0 variance, 6 points. Which you could argue that maybe that should be worth more, but Wyatt also didn't get any of those. So like, spoiler alert, I blew him out of the water. So in order to make him not lose even more than that, I was like, yeah, this is fine. We probably really like should set aside our point values ahead of time, but we already had our list. So it was like, it was set in stone what was going to happen. There was no alternating things based on the point scoring. So we have here then the variance and the points. So if you get right on the money, 6 points, and then basically just waterfall down in a inverse relationship with the variance. So that led us, so I'll just show you the little summary over here. So we go to the pivot. So here we go. So on Bailey's, so I got, move this over a little bit. So 6 points. So the ones I got 6 points on, which meant I was like on, spot on. I got 4 of those. I never did the splits. I will have to stretch. Stretch for next year. And then I didn't get any that were within 1, which is kind of interesting. So I did get, so I had 1 that was within 2. I had, so 3 points, I had 4 of them that were within 3. I got 2 points for that. So I had 2 games that were within 4 points. And then I got 1 point here for being 1 within 5. So in total, I guessed 12 games within a variance of 5. Wyatt, which led me to a total of 45 points as the victor. And Wyatt, on the other hand, had his game, so 5 points. So he had, move me out of the way. Okay, so he had 5 points. So that would mean that he was within 1 3 times. He was within 2 1 time. He was within 4 1 time, and he was within 5 1 time. So he only had half as many as I did. And he didn't get any of the 6 point scoring. So he unfortunately was the lousy loser with 22 points. So, oh yes, and then the other thing I was gonna do real fast, so I just need to flip what I'm counting, because I was actually gonna pull in the game. Yeah. Yeah, I manually formatted these two because I just wanted them to match the color scheme over there. Okay, so I wanted to pull in game underneath here so you could see what I what I got right. Okay, so there are my 4 games that I was spot on about: Catan, Five Tribes, Lords of Vegas, and Alhambra. And that was Wyatt's. Let me see what the ranks were. So he had, yep. So I got his number 1, number 2, and number 3, and then I just randomly got the number 12. So, and he did the lightning round in that video. So go check that out. That was it's one of our special edits that he did. This is gonna bug me, so let me just make this look like that. Can't see all the way. Okay, so there are my. Okay, so those are my games. So now I'll do the same thing with Wyatt over here. I'm gonna be out of the way so you guys can check those out. So you can see how many games that I actually, what the game was that I was within the points. I also could have done if it's instead of the points of the variance, but okay. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so he got, and I want to pull in Bailey's little ring. Okay. Really wish that list was up. Man, I tell you, like having Zoom, it like doesn't get out of the way and move my face. Okay, yeah. All right, so his ones that he got right. So here is all of those. He managed to pen my number 1 correctly, my number 4, and my number 8, as well as, or I guess not exactly pinned it, but the ones he did most correctly was my number 1, 4, 8, 3. So really, actually, he did, wow. So he just totally struck out completely until the top 10. So I guess he was probably just like, I don't know, but I know that she likes these games, which he did have a harder job. So I ranked 130 and he only had 66. So I already had like half the probability. So maybe we actually probably did decently close together since he did a little bit less than half. So yeah. And then let's see, Catan. So he had, that was my number 3. Actually, I'm gonna, let's see what I'm gonna pull in the guess too. I think that would be kind of interesting to look at. Now I'm like, give me my pivot back. It's like, make up your mind. Do you want the pivot list? Okay, so let's pull in Wyatt's guess for Bailey. No, wait, that one, Bailey's guess for Wyatt. Yep, so again, I got those all completely spot on. So Jaguar, I thought was 6. So I thought it was a little bit lower. Lords of Waterdeep, I thought was lower. Austrians, lower. Threadlands, I actually thought was going to be higher for him. And that one didn't make my list. So the couple things that didn't make my list that I'm really surprised in it was, well, I'm not surprised the Rowlands didn't. We just haven't played it as much, but The Magnificent, I love that game, and I don't know. I'll look what number it ended up getting because I was surprised that it. Actually, let me just do that right now, or I'll forget. Magnificent. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, so it was my number 31. Aha, so it was just one out. I was like, I was really surprised it wasn't in there. Makes sense. He guessed it to be 58. He was very, very off. Okay, back to it. All right, so Lords of Waterdeep. Yeah, I thought it would be lower. Radlands. Quacks. Thought it would be higher, but it was close. A little bit of flip. And yeah, and then so let's see what Wyatt's. Okay, So again, so on 5 points, he was within 1. So he was very close on 5 tribes. He had it as my number 2 instead of my number 1. Sorcerer City, he was also 3 and 4, 7 and 8 on Food and Culture. Catan, he was a couple off. It's not surprising. Like I said in the video, like honestly, we have played Catan more than any other game. And it never gets old. So I would say it probably is my number 1, but at the same time, I just felt for my list that, I don't know, I wanted to pick something else. I know some people just like hate Catan at this point. So I'm like, well, I didn't want people to be like, okay, so Splendor. Well, and actually, I didn't even, so I used Pub Meeple, and as soon as it spit it out, both of us did that. We just like left it. We didn't massage anything. So that's what Pub Meeple and my 1 or 2 ended up with. Splendor, so he was 4 off on that one, and Pandemic. Did he not rank Pandemic? Oh, he must not have. He didn't even put it on there at all. Is that right? 0. That's interesting. Anyways, we'll skip over that. So yeah, so those are some of our stats in game. So I was the winner. If anybody wants any other random statistics or Excel advice, please let me know. So again, I hope you enjoyed the top 10. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Consider giving us a like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And yeah, give us a comment or whatever what you think, and if this is entertaining, if you like this kind of video, or I just kind of go on my PC and do some stuff, let me know if you like that as well, if you would rather us stick to playthroughs or whatnot. I mean, we're gonna do what we want, but of course I will take into account what my subscribers would like. So anyways, thanks guys. I'll see you next time. I found out that I made one mistake. So I forgot to enter in a formula to prevent it from if Wyatt didn't guess it at all. So I had to pull it in as 0 if Wyatt didn't guess it at all. So on the Pandemic that initially showed up in here, he was getting a point because it was saying he was within 5 because it was my number 5 and it said that he did 0. So I fixed that, sorry. So he only got 21 points now. So had to fix that. Anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. See you later.